Most people are trying to manifest what they want into their life from the outside in. They want the love. They want the money. They want the things to change on the outside so that then they can feel a specific way on the inside. And that's going about it the backwards way. The way reality works is reality is a mirror. The reality is mirroring back to you what you believe to be true about yourself and what energy you are embodying. This is interesting. I've seen this happen a few times where when people make an energetic shift where they finally give themselves permission to feel abundant, maybe they get in a reflection in their life of like some money comes into their life and then all of a sudden they feel more abundant because the external shifted, but then because they feel more abundant, they then get more and more abundant situations. I remember when I sold women's shoes, anytime I'd have a good sale, because it was commission, I'd have a good sale and make a lot of commission or whatever, and then it's like I'd get more and more customers that would come in and buy very easily, and it was like I'm in that energy state, so I just kept attracting more and more of it. I used to work with this chick that she said she never had, like she went 8 months without a dude ever hitting on her. And then what happened is she got into a relationship, and then she said every single time she gets into a relationship, within that week, she'll get like hit on like 10 or 15 times. So it goes from 8 months of none of that to 10 to 15 times in 1 week. Still this, she looks, I mean, maybe her energy changes, maybe she bubbles up a little bit, but because her energy has changed, then she gets a new reflection. And in the same way, when we make an energetic shift within ourselves, our reality begins to shift. The challenge is that most of us are waiting for the things on the outside to change. It's like, oh, once I have that loving relationship, then I'll feel whole and complete and I'll feel like I'm worthy. Once I have that money that comes in, then I'll feel abundant, and then more and more abundance will come. And this also works the other way around. I've seen people before where what happens is one part of their life, maybe something starts to fall apart, one aspect. Maybe they lose their job. And then after they lose their job, then maybe they're having trouble in their relationship. And then after having trouble in the relationship, maybe something happens in their it's like it trickles into other areas because their state of being is literally negating. It's literally like there's an infinite number of probabilities that exist in our reality. Based upon our energy, we are either visibly seeing certain realities or those positive realities may be invisible depending on our energy and vice versa. So if you're at a state to where you realize you don't have to wait for love or money to come into your life to feel abundance or love because you realize it already exists within yourself, then when you go out into the world, you will literally perceive of a different reality than someone that is waiting to feel the love or waiting to feel the abundance. Because remember, the energetic state you are in is determining what reality you experience. Now, the challenge is that many times we have a lot of rules. We have a lot of things that must happen for us to feel love or for us to feel abundant. And these rules are saying, oh, I must be in a relationship for me to feel love. I must have this much in my bank account for me to feel love. And then, or in order for me to feel abundant. But then what we do is we keep prolonging the feeling, because at the end of the day, maybe it's not really the feeling of the love or the abundance that you're after. Maybe there's an attachment to wanting, an attachment to desire, because desire can feel very dopamine ridden. We always say that we want, or we always say, oh, once I have this thing, then I'll be happy. But then the moment we get that thing, we want more. So at the deeper core of this, what if it's not really about that thing? There's an addiction to wanting, an addiction to attachment, and a feeling that whatever there is just not good enough. And a false belief that says, once I get there, then I'll feel this way. It could be as well, when you think about it, that the emotions that are coming up within you that you feel, that those emotions are there to sometimes also show you what's on the inside and what maybe you felt like you were deprived of growing up. Like, if you were to accept that right now you're feeling lack or you're feeling unworthy, if you were to accept that and allow yourself to feel it, a lot of times then the energy can begin to subside. Because all emotions is a lot of times emotions are coming up so that it can be felt, so that you can then clear it, so then you can elevate your vibration. And remember, when you elevate your vibration, by letting go, that's all you have to do, by the way, is let go of attachment, let go of the awareness, let go of even the belief. You believe that once you get the relationship, you're going to be happy. You believe that once you have, $10,000 in the bank or whatever it is, then you're going to be happy. The thing with attachments is there's something I read in Anthony DeMello's book, Awareness, or maybe it was The Way to Love. But basically, it's like, with attachment, it's okay to have attachments. As long as you're aware that once you get that thing, don't delude yourself into believing that once you get that thing, then you're going to actually be happy. Because with attachments, it's never quite enough. So the key is realizing and questioning why what you want. That's the deeper level of manifestation. We can talk about thinking a better thought. And sometimes I do kind of like dog on the whole Abraham Hicks philosophy. That's because a lot of times the way people perceive of that energy of like thinking a better thought is that it's all surface level. It's like, oh, I feel negative emotion. Oh, I need to raise my vibration. Instead, I'm going to think a better thought. Okay, I'm feeling guilt. So anger's a higher vibration. Let me feel anger. But the thing is if the guilt comes up and you allow yourself to feel the guilt and you let it be there and you let it process through your body, that's when transformation can begin to come up. You can even ask your body, like, are there any other memories? Are there any other energies coming up as you feel it? And then you're processing unprocessed motion from the past. That's the deeper core way of transformation. Now, when I say that, it's like not about just getting to the next ring. So if it's like I feel guilty, it's like, okay, I need to feel anger because anger is a higher vibration than guilt. It's not necessarily that. But the deeper core thing of like just feel happy with where you are. I mean, what is happiness? Happiness is a complete acceptance of the present moment, not needing it to change. That's why a lot of people, they'll get something they wanted for a long time, and then they'll feel happy for a very short period of time, but then they'll want more. I see this all the time happen in UFC. Somebody that's wanted the UFC belt for their weight class for so long, they finally get it. And then what happens right after they get it? They celebrate, they're happy, it's freaking ecstatic. But then what happens? Holy shit, now I got a target on my back. Now all these other elite athletes are coming after me to steal what I've created. I don't want to lose what I've created. That happiness then very quickly goes away into like desperate security, trying to maintain what's been created. Instead of soaking in the moment. That's a very brief moment that happens because then it's like, then they have to defend their title. Kind of how it happened on YouTube too for me. It was like in the beginning, it was all about just making videos I was passionate about. Then once there's 1 million subscribers, okay, then by the way, 100,000 subs. Oh my God, this feels amazing for like 2 minutes. And then it's like, what about 200,000 subs? Ooh, that would be worthy. That would feel great. And then it was like, okay, more videos, more videos, more videos. In this video, in this video, in this video, in this video, doing all these freaking videos. And they get to 200,000. And then it's like, oh my God, but this feels kind of cool for like 2 minutes. And then what happens? Okay, what about 250,000? What about 300,000? What about 500,000? What about 1 million? And then eventually 1 million comes. And there was no energetic difference really, except for a momentary like awareness of like, oh, cool, did something we set our mind to. However, then what happens is now there's all this pressure. Now I got to make videos with really good hooks in the beginning and I need them to get a lot of views and all this stuff. And there's all this pressure because I got to maintain what I've created. Oh, if I stop making videos on the attract love content, then oh my goodness, it's like all of this pressure. And instead, what I've realized is I could just let it go. Repeat after me. Let's just let it go. And as I let go, I could just be free to be me. You best believe. That's all this channel and my videos used to be just me freely expressing. In the beginning of this video, for example, I had an attachment to the hook. I sat here for 10 minutes trying to make a video because I needed to get a lot of pressure to find the right hook. Because if I find the right hook, a hook is like the first phrase you say in the beginning of the video, because nowadays people's attention span is much shorter than it used to be. I used to just to make a video, all I would do is I would write in my iPad the title, and then I would just start the video. And nowadays, there's all this like pressure to like, you got to create a good hook, and then you need this, and I'm like, it's like analyzing and turning this thing that's just like this passionate flow of spirit that flows through into this very analytical thing that I have to like mechanistically put together, and it's butchering up my process. But what I'm realizing is I can just let go. Do I need 100,000 people to see every YouTube video I make? If I believe I do, then guess what? Pressure. Oh my God, I gotta be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. What's the right hook? In this video, pressure. That's what attachment is. Attachment is pressure. When in fact, at the end of the day, there's a higher level than pressure of attachment. The attachment is the belief this video that goes viral or whatever it is gonna make me happy. It's gonna bring me eternal glory. Eternal happiness. I'm going to feel worthy. It's going to bring more people to become aware of the information I'm making. That's going to fill up live events and all of this stuff. It's outcome focused. Outcome focused comes with the false belief that if you get this thing or this thing happens on the external, then you'll be happy. Then it'll be enough. And anything that's outcome focused creates pressure and resistance. Now, what is something that is an end of itself? An end of itself is when you do something you do because you like doing it. If I made a video just because I enjoy making a video, that is an end of itself. I'm making a video because I'm making a video. Not I'm making a video because it's going to get a lot of views. And if I get a lot of views, I will be way more worthy. And it'll be good for my channel, and there'll be lots of growth. But instead, if you make something because it's an end of itself, you're doing it because it's who you are. So attachment comes with false beliefs that say if I have this thing or if this thing happens in this way, then I'll be enough, then things will be perfect. Don't delude yourself though. You think once you get into the relationship, then you'll be happy. How do you know? Maybe you get into the relationship and then you realize that there's stuff that's unprocessed. And then you're like, oh, maybe it would have been easier in this way. Or, oh, once I have $10,000 in the bank, then, or once I do there's always the next step unless you do it because it's who you are. You feel love for yourself and you open up your heart because it's who you are. You be vulnerable with friends and family because it's who you are. Have you ever had a time where you're vulnerable with someone, you open up to someone and then they can't match it? I had a thing recently where I had to deal with someone, me and my team had to deal with someone, and we were being open and vulnerable and heart-opening, like, hey, can we talk about this? And then someone says, no, I don't want to talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. And it's like, okay, we were trying to be vulnerable. And somebody wasn't vulnerable back. But there doesn't have to be attachment that person has to come around. That person has to understand. That person has to also want to open their heart. In fact, by not having the conversation, it showed us even more, where it's like we don't even need to have the conversation. It spoke volumes. And funny enough, this situation that happened, it also happened in a different way with someone else, where that was the same lesson. And what we realized is we can lead with vulnerability because it's the way we choose to operate. Vulnerability, leaning into like conversations that are sometimes uncomfortable, because it's who we are. We are people that aren't afraid of having uncomfortable conversations, especially when the intention is to open up your heart and to feel more connected. But if you have an attachment that other people have to get it and other people have to come around, then you can easily be let down. But realize you're not doing it for them, Sometimes they may not be able to come around, and that's okay. There's a grieving process that sometimes comes from relationships that just don't serve anymore. But vulnerability is a superpower. But vulnerability you do because it's who you are, not of what you get. So letting go is a byproduct of the awareness that the thing you are attached to is not going to actually bring you happiness. You just believe it is for a short period of time, but by the time you get the thing, you're going to want to be somewhere else. Or you're going to want more. Or you're going to want a deeper level of depth. Or you're going to want more money. You know, I wouldn't have even be able to dream of where I'm at today when I had my 9-to-5 job back in 2017. Traveling the world. I'm in Tulum, Mexico right now. Beautiful. I'm looking at like the ocean and like all this cool stuff behind. Maybe I'll put in some B-roll into this video. Maybe you've already seen it. But I wouldn't have been able to dream it. But like now that I'm in the reality, now there's other things that are involved. I have a team. I have expectations and different things that have to be done, and there's just different things that you don't know. Awareness is so powerful because you don't know what you don't know. But once you start experiencing it, it's like you become a new version of yourself. So instead of focused on the external things, which are symptoms of an internal thing, focus on the internal, but on honestly questioning why you want what you want. You believe, if I have this money, then I'll be happy. If I have this relationship, then I'll be happy. If I have this level of health or this physique, then I'll be happy. But a lot of times what ends up happening is that you get it and you're happy for a moment and then you want more. So instead, can you be happy with where you are? Can you feel the self-love or the worthiness within yourself? Can you feel the abundance that already exists in your life? And then you'll see that reality begins to change quicker because the things that are visible and invisible to you kind of shift depending on the energy state you are in. So many times I'm in a high vibe state, other high vibe things come into my life very easily, like magically. If I'm in a low vibe state, no matter what I do, it's like I end up in these weird situations. I've had times where like I only get reached out from certain people when I'm in this low vibe state. Certain people will hit me up only when I'm in a low vibe state. And I know that that's a reflection of my state. That's a reflection of my energy. It's creepy sometimes how accurate that is. But it's just, to me, it's like I'm able to like perceive of my reality as a reflection. All reality is a mirror. It is mirroring back to you the energy state you are in. So instead of focusing on the mirror and trying to change the mirror, the key is focusing on your own energy, feeling the emotion that comes up, letting it process through you, and then realizing that the more you can let go, the more you can let in. Let go of believing, the false belief that says once you have this thing, then you'll be happy. Let go of maybe you have an ex or someone that you're attached to. If you let go of that, you then make room for the new. If you let go of the story about how your boss is a certain way with you, or the job you have is a certain one, you start letting go of these stories, let go of these beliefs, or even let go of something that's toxic, you will make room for other things to come in. It's just that sometimes the letting go can be scary because there has to be trust that something else better can come in. It happens a lot of times with people when they go through a spiritual awakening with their friends. Their friends may not get them. They're afraid to let their friends go. Maybe there's bad habits there. But then you eventually let it go, trust the process, and eventually high vibe family comes into your life. But you have to trust that process, and you have to realize the truth about attachment is that the more you let go, the more you elevate and the more you allow the divine to flow through. Your ego thinks it knows what it wants. But there's a higher dimension to reality. There's a source energy, the God, the universe, that can bring things to you in a flowy way if you just let go. So let go to let God bring in something higher vibrational into your life. Whatever that is for you, God, source energy, the universe, whatever. Allow it to come through by trusting and knowing that the ego doesn't have it all figured out. And then realize the more you let go, the more you elevate your vibration. If you want a meditation that will help you to let go and raise your vibration to a new level, and you haven't taken the quiz yet to find out your vibration with the meditation that helps you get to the next level, check out www.whatsmyvibration.com. Download the meditation, listen out for 21 days, watch how much your life begins to change, and understand that this process is simply about a choice you can make to let go. If you want to also understand one of the most powerful ways to let go, watch this video right here. It will completely transform your life. Letting go is actually very easy when we allow it to be easy. Letting go is only hard because we believe that one, it has to be hard, but the main reason letting go is hard is because we believe that if